It's been a while since I was on this channel, hasn't it? Hosting the thing. It is Kojo from the Free Midfield Podcast here today on Usman Talks United. Usman will hopefully be here when his internet stops playing Tetris. But I am joined, I am joined by the king that is Jerry. How you doing, my bro?
Yes, people, back again on the channel. See everyone in the comments getting excited. We're about to jump into this, man.
Come on, everyone's excited right now because the news that has come out is that it has been verbally agreed that Ten Hag is going to become the Manchester United manager at the end of the season. After obviously they finished their cup game in the final, and we finished the league where we are playing for absolutely nothing. But let's go on to the positives. So, Jerry, verbally agreed, which looks like it's coming on soon.
Yeah.
How you feeling, mate? How you feeling?
Listen, guys. First of all, listen, I need to choose my adjectives wisely. I'm very, very happy that
I don't know if it's working, boys. Hopefully it is.
Do you want to? It's a lot better than before.
I'm sat literally
bro.
the router. Let's go, boys!
Let me put you in the host. Let me put you in the host seat real quick.
No, Kojo, do your thing. I'm probably gonna disconnect. Stairs us. Right, but Kojo, keep doing your thing. I'm just here, man. I'm happy to be. I got a smile on my face. I'm loving life. Let's go.
Come on, go on, Jerry.
Yeah, I gotta choose my adjectives wisely because first and foremost, I'm glad it's over. It's done. We know who we're getting. Obviously, in previous podcasts, Ten Hag and Poch, I wasn't really too fussed who we got, but now that it's Ten Hag, I can start to plan how I'm going to react in the future. And Ten Hag coming, obviously, I put in the group chat. That means the demands were met, which is a big positive. So I'm intrigued. Let's say not excited right now because, like I've said many times, we've been burnt too many times. So I'm happy he's here. I'm intrigued, and let's see where we go from here, man. But listen, he's a great manager, great for rebuilding the squad. So let's see, man. Let's see if he can, dethrone Pepper Club because that's the main thing for me. Everyone's getting excited, yeah, rebuild, but bro, I want to win the league. I want to win the league, so let's see if he can get us to the promised land. But yeah, overall, I'm happy, man.
You see how Usman's smiling. When Usman put in the group chat, the way he's smiling, I could just picture it.
Bro, I'm too happy, man.
Wow, Usman, tell me how you're feeling, bro, because this is someone that you wanted more than.
Oh my god! But obviously, you guys know me now. I wanted Luis Enrique. He was always my number one in it. And then Ten Hag and Nagelsmann were kind of neck and neck. Basically, I didn't really have a preference on the two of them, but it was always Luis Enrique. But first things first, right? I think Jerry's completely spot on with what he said. We've been burnt too many times as fans. Me and Jerry in particular, right? We get carried away very easily.
Look at the comment. I said it boldly last season collecting, and look,
we collected, Jerry. The
zero.
People ain't gonna forget. Listen, we get carried away too easy. I'm extremely guilty of that. I'm not gonna sit here and BS and say I'm not, because I've done it every single season. I'm not lying. But this season in particular has humbled me next level. So I'm not going to sit here and speak with chest and say X, Y, Z is going to happen. For me, it's a matter of, the board have promised him certain things. Obviously, he's come and he's put his thingy on the table and he said, look, I want X, Y, and Z. Otherwise, I ain't signing on the dotted line. And I respect that he isn't a yes man and he's demanding stuff. However, I can't just go off the board's word. I want to see actions. I want to see them actually giving him power. Look how many times I've tried to go back on what they said with Ralph initially. He signed to be an advisor, consulting, and the last couple of weeks we've had drip-fed information. Oh, he's not actually going to get power. He's not going to get X, Y, and Z. And that is my worry. Okay, Ten Hag is, let's say, 30% of the solution, but the other 70% is by the players and the board most importantly. So for me, I'm 30% happy as it currently stands, but the other 70% I need to see the right players coming in to suit his system, and I need the board to actually go through with what they've promised him, which is actually giving him power and an ability to say yes or no, to selling players, signing players, etc. Until I see that in a couple of seasons' time, then I'll start to actually believe that we're making change, because in a 1 year's time, we could be sitting in the same conversation. They've not signed him X, Y, and Z. And I'm actually tired of, at this point, how many mistakes are they going to make until they actually learn that we need to give power to the managers and people that know what they're doing. So for me, 30% happy. Only 1/3 of the job is done, so to speak. We need to do the other 2/3 now.
Jerry, You heard what Usman said about recruitment. Now, from 2013, we have had a shambles of a window year after year after year after year. And even when it's been good, it's been bad. How important is it that he has full reign over who comes in and out of the first team?
Bro, it's imperative, if that's the right word. It's very crucial because, like I said, we've been burnt too many times. There's been signings where you're thinking, did the manager really sign him? Like Van der Beek is the one that sticks out to me. We don't know if that's an Oli signing or a Glazer signing or Ed Woodward signing, because the way Donny was being treated, you're thinking, nah, Oli couldn't have signed him. Like it doesn't make no sense. You got Fred. Is that Jose signing? I don't think it is. Dallo, Lee Grant, like it's just like you said, from 2013 until now, there's been many examples of strange signings, but there have been ones where you're thinking, yeah, he's quality, but is he what we need? Like obviously Ronaldo's the biggest one. Not saying he's a problem. You guys know my thoughts, Ronaldo. I mean, I love the guy, but the signing was a board signing, and with Ten Haags signing now, like I said, yeah, the agreement is there. He's going to take full control. That was missing. I need to see it firsthand before I can fully jump on board because, like I said, I'm scared, bro. I'm very cautious because I can't do. I don't have another season in me where I get my hopes up and
I must be burnt too many times, man.
Bro, like I'm tired, man. Like I need this one to work, bro. It needs to work. Bro. I'm tired of seeing Man City and Liverpool just. It sickens me, man. I don't like to see it. But for me, the main thing for me this summer is obviously recruitment, but it's who we let go. Because that is equally as important as who we bring in, because there needs to be at least, I'd say 10 men need to leave this club. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. Like there needs to be ruthlessness. None of this, he can leave, and then now we need to, like Lingard, he was supposed to leave in January, then we kept him. You got Phil Jones still there, Matta's still there, Matic, Luke Shaw, bruv. There needs to be at least minimum 6 players by it comes June 1st. They're released, gone from the club. Then we can actually, reduce the size of the club, and then we can add to what Ten Hag wants. So for me, the main thing I'm looking for is who's going to leave. Don't haggle around about that 1 year option to extend. Dead all that, bro. I don't need to see that. Luke Shaw, that new contract, please. No, just let him go. Lingard gone. Pogba, don't even try to convince him. What 400k, please, he's not worth that. Who else? Who else has got a year left? Matic. There's better players that just needs to cut. So for me, I'm looking at who's going to leave before I can get excited about the incomings, man.
Usman, philosophy. It's been a long time since our club has had a philosophy. Tell me how you're feeling about what he can bring to this team, because we forget the negatives, forget the players that are here that cannot play. We're gonna put them to the side for today. Just think about, or tell me how excited you're feeling about having a blueprint coming to the club finally.
Yeah, I mean, Lord knows what's going through his head when he's watched us against Leicester, and our last game against Everton, because everything that he would have seen is completely polar opposite of what he would want to instill in this team, which is firstly ability to actually control the ball would be nice. Ability to string more than 2 passes together. The bare fundamentals and basics as a footballer. So in terms of his philosophy, it's quite clear what he does. He has a very direct way of playing. It's tiki-taka to an extent, similar to Pep. It's a combination of what Pep does at Man City, but he has his own spin on it. For me personally, it's honestly, I don't want to keep banging on about it, but it really does come down to recruitment. We've seen with Ralph Rangnick, myself and yourself, we did a lot of shows, tactic shows, and all of which what we spoke about in those shows didn't come to fruition. And a lot of my mates that are rival fans keep reminding me, so you did all these tactic shows and I've not seen any of it, which is quite funny to obviously his banter and stuff, and I accept it. But in Rangnick's defense, too many of the players are not capable of executing what he would want. Okay, take pressing aside, other aspects, i.e. the ability to pass through the lines. The only player in the team that can realistically do that on a consistent basis is Matic, and Pogba would potentially be another one. But when you play Pogba, he doesn't offer the other things that Ralph would want, i.e. the energy or his ability off the ball to obviously close down ground consistently, and his work ethic, etc. Those things. that have always been, a criticism. So I just think with Ten Hag, it's going to take him a long time to really implement his philosophy, and I think people need to be extremely patient. I'm going to consistently use a Klopp as a perfect example. When Klopp first joined Liverpool, the squad was a lot worse than Man United, no denying that. But he couldn't really implement his gegenpress. A lot of the period, especially in the second to third season, his players were tiring out after 60 minutes, every single game without fail, 60 minute mark. The players were incapable of pressing and upholding such a high standard for long periods of the game. And to come back to the Ten Hag question, I just feel like a lot of the players are incapable. They haven't got the facilities to implement his style, and he's really going to have to rip this squad up and bring in players like is it Jurrien Timber, the centre back at Ajax currently, the guy that spoke, who's an Ajax fan. He said he's extremely influential in the way Ten Hag starts attack from the centre back position or right back, wherever he's playing, in particular in centre back. Not saying we sign him particularly, but players like that, and people will use Maguire as an example because obviously Maguire has the potential to play at the back. But for me personally, I would say Lindelof. Like Lindelof would be my Timber in that case because he's got the capabilities of passing out the back. If you were to keep one of them, I would keep Lindelof for that reason because it suits Ten Hag's style. So people like that, little things like that, you saw with Pep. He got rid of Joe Hart as soon as he walked through the door. Signed Bravo. Bravo wasn't cutting it. I got rid of him as well. And I think it's important that we are patient. It's going to take him a long time. But to answer your question, tiki-taka football, he likes to play attacking on the front foot. But similar to Ralph, he needs to get rid of a lot of these players for him to actually implement it, so to speak.
It's an open question to both of you. And I'll come off the question from Wes. Now, we know a lot of players, we want them gone. But is there anyone in the squad that you look at and say, you know what? I think he can improve these players. Jerry, you go first. Why not? Is there anyone in the squad you look at right now and say, whether it's old, like not old is sort of like set in their ways, but maybe younger players you look at and you say, he can, if we give these players to him, I think we can go somewhere with these players. Even people on loan are part of this question.
No. Listen, I think I've said in the group, and you guys are laughing. In regards to Mr. Tony, yeah, I've seen some videos going around Twitter today. But I the thing is, I don't think we're getting 2 strikers this summer, if anything. So I think he needs to come back just to add to the squad. And this is a new manager. New play stuff, which I think.
Yo, shout out to Ali, by the way. Just I know Ali's buzzing as well. Raj, don't worry, I've seen your question. I will put that out very shortly. But shout out to Ali as well. I know he's buzzing.
Yeah, big up Ali, man. Yeah. So with Martial, I think he could. Obviously, I see Ty putting one last dance. This is it, man. This is his last chance. But for me, yeah, the main thing, I think I was watching another podcast. Yeah. For us to be successful. The at least 8 or 9 players Ten Hag has to sign for me. Because I'm looking at Klopp, I'm looking at Pep. When you go through the starting 11s, Klopp bought, I think, at Henderson and for me.
About from their current squad?
Yeah, the starting 11s. I think
yeah, so basically with Klopp, obviously the reason I keep using Klopp is because the only 3 players survived Klopp. Basically, so the squad that he inherited to the team that eventually won the Champions League, only 3 players survived. Henderson, Milner, and I can't remember the third one.
Was the last one? I think
Firmino joined before him. So
was it Firmino? Okay, but I know Henderson and Milner were 2 of them. But there was one other player, which obviously you're saying is Firmino in this case. But basically, the point is everybody else got sold and got replaced, which is what we need.
That's exactly what I mean. Like Pep, you look at, he bought the fullbacks. He bought Laporte, he bought Diaz, he bought Stones, he bought Rodri, Bernardo, Gundogan, Mare. Bro, that's what we need to do. Like, so when I'm thinking about our team, we got Fergie, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Oli signings. Bro, only 2 and survive. And obviously Bruno signed a new deal, so he's obviously one of them. The second one, I don't know, bro. Like, for me, we need at least 8, 9 of Ten Hag signings before we can fully imprint his philosophy on his team. So to much players that can improve, it's not a lot, bro. It's not a lot. It's not a lot for me. So I don't know, man. We'll see.
Kojo, what do you reckon? What do you reckon, okay? Give us your thoughts as well. This is the co-hosting. Come on, coach. You don't need to interview us. We're all just chatting like boys. What are your thoughts? Give us your thoughts, my guy. What are your thoughts?
All right, cool. Firstly, Ten Hag, I'm very calm about it. He's a manager that has a philosophy. I'm hoping, come to the Premier League, he's also able to develop a plan B, just in case, because not every team are going to be able to play your passing football against, and it's not every team we're going to go and dominate the ball against, because there's a couple of clubs in this league that are better than us right now that will take us to bed. In terms of players that can improve, that's a $1 million question. Because apart from maybe like Ilanga, because he's young, maybe he's still got a lot to learn. Or
is that it?
I mean, I can't even dispute it. Like, who else would you throw in there? Like, generally,
because I want to say, like, for example, I want to say like maybe Rashford because he's 24, but then
what Sancho
can improve. He's not the finished article yet as well, but he's someone that's established. So I'm looking at more who
Van der Beek. He's got.
No, I can't lie to you. I think Van der Beek will be fine with him, but Van der Beek's not going to go up his level. Van der Beek's just going to be at the level that we hoped he was going to be at in the first place. Yeah. So I don't see him as an improvement. If he manages to now like add even more, that's beautiful. But we know Lampard's not giving him that. So yeah, in terms of improvement, I'm not sure. But players that need to go, I've said it time and time again. There's many men that need to leave. And I said to Usman last time, 13 players, man. 13 players is my minimum.
Facts.
And if I had the power...
I said 15, I've counted it out and I've said 15.
So it's even higher now.
Gone in 2 years.
It's even higher.
Let me hear the names.
All right.
So people that need to go or be replaced eventually.
Yeah, everyone that needs to cut.
Henderson out. De Gea next year out. Luke Shaw out. Wan-Bissaka out. Maguire out. Bailly out. Telles out. Dallo loan then out. More money. McTominay out. Fred out. Bring Garner in. Pogba contract's done. Get him out. Bruno if he continues this behavior out. That's a lot of names.
Lingard, Mata.
Lingard, get gone. Mata,
Phil Jones as well.
Spain. You've deserved it. Martial, somewhere.
Brother, up there, that's 16 man. Flipping up.
No, that's what I mean when I actually did it in my head. I actually had 15, 16 man. It's crazy.
I was even about to say at the end of next season, Ronaldo.
No, Ronaldo has to. I would get rid of Ronaldo this season. I'm not gonna lie.
No, I'll keep him for one more year, just because I know he can still add the goals. But after that, cut it.
He's staying.
That's the question.
He's only got Wan-Bissaka staying at it. Don't really stress.
No, he said Wan-Bissaka. He said it.
I said Wan-Bissaka. He was definitely on top of my list.
Numero uno, bro.
Numero uno. Who's staying? I mean, I've kept on people for 1 year, so that's good. That's a start. I said bring in James Garner. That's good. Bruno still stays, but I told him to improve his behavior. Sancho, that's another one that stays. Ilanga stays because he's young, so you got some time for him. Yeah.
Coach, I'm gonna throw something out there, and I feel like Jerry will agree, but I don't think a majority of fans will. But honest to God, and again, I don't want people to think I'm making excuses, so please don't assume I am. But Marcus Rashford has not had one good coach in his entire United career. Like, in terms of, since he's come through the ranks, he's not had a proper coach that can actually improve his game.
I'll say Van Gaal, that bust him.
And Van Gaal, probably, you would argue Van Gaal's the only one. Really. Yeah, and to be fair, he did well under Van Gaal. But again, I'm not making excuses for him because he's a grown-ass man now. He's 23, 24. So I'm not making excuses. But I feel like the issue at Manchester United is a lot deeper than the players that we buy. A lot of the players that we do have, how many of them have actually improved? Like, let's just use Raheem Sterling as an example, because I think he's a great one. He signed with a lot of raw potential. He was very good at Liverpool, but obviously he hadn't reached the heights. You got a phenomenal coach in Pep Guardiola who's elevated his level from, let's say, level 3 to literally like level 8, 9, touching 10 in certain periods within seasons. And that comes down to coaching. We don't have a lot of that. We don't have a lot of players. You mentioned Elanga there particularly. A lot of our fans are writing him off already, which is hilarious. But whether he has the quality or not is a different story. But players like that need coaches. You need a proper top quality coach to get the best out of these players. And Marcus Rashford hasn't had that. Anthony Martial, he hasn't had that. And again, they're old men. I'm not defending them and saying this is an excuse for why they haven't done X, Y, Z, because I still question the weak mentality, and I will stand by that statement. But the point is, Ten Hag is actually a fantastic coach. You know, not just a manager. He has got the capabilities and has got a track record similar to Poch to an extent, which is what Poch did at Spurs, which I respect. Elevating players, average players, and elevating them into becoming a lot better than they are. You're seeing it with Conte right now. Currently at Tottenham Hotspur, that team is dead. They've got Kane and Son, and Kulusevski's just come from January. But a lot of the other players, you wouldn't take them in a Man United team. You wouldn't say we need X, Y, and Z. Maybe Højbjerg potentially would come and slot in for us. But realistically, you wouldn't take any of their players and say, yeah, we need them. Romero's done well, to be fair. But overall, they're bang average players, a lot of them. And he's making them look like a 7, touching 8s. And that is down to the coach. And we need to see that at Man United. Obviously, the recruitment has to be key. But Ten Hag has to improve the players he's got as well, because I think it's not as easy as saying, oh, let's get rid of everybody. Some of the players that are currently here, I still think Rashford's got talent. I just don't think he's got any IQ. And that can't be coached. Coach, you're a coach. You took your team from 3rd to 2nd. You're a coach.
Wait. That's one position, you know. Let's tell the truth. They were down.
No, but
they were in the doldrums. I brought them up.
You're a coach, innit? Like, obviously, coach and that. But you know what it's like you see someone like Rashford, right? The guy's got all the talent in his world. It's hard to teach talent. Obviously, it's repetition. But IQ, you can definitely coach that into a player. Sterling's a perfect example. I think some players have it. For example, Cavani, his IQ, you can't teach that, because that's just that next level, his movement off the ball to get himself sniffing the danger, etc. That's extremely hard to teach. But Rashford making inverted runs for Lindelof to find him 9 out of 10 times in a game, he can definitely improve on those matters, which will improve his game, not to world class, but he can definitely go up a couple levels with a proper coach, I think.
What I would say to that is, no, I do agree actually, but what I would say to that is there also has to be the element of personal responsibility in it as well. Yes. Because you're right, you know, for example, I think, it's not that I think Sterling's IQ was improved by what's his name? By Pochettino, by Pep Guardiola. I think he saw his talent and said, this is the best way to maximize it. I think Rashford needs that, because the one person who was most productive under was Mourinho. That's why Mourinho came when Frank de Boer was talking his rubbish. Mourinho went on crud and started to speak about him being the worst manager in Premier League history. And if Rashford was under him, he will learn how to lose. Because Rashford was getting numbers no matter what. So even though Man United were not getting the best results, that's when Rashford started going on his run of getting numbers. If we can use these players to just maximize their talents and just, you know, Rashford, speed, dribbling, and at times he's a good finisher when he's not trying to lick it for no reason.
Just side finesse it, man, please, bro.
Yeah, because when he finesses it, he hits it.
Yeah.
You see the finesse thing, Martial don't lick it. So it's like, I've never seen Martial bang a shot, bro, ever. All he does is finesse.
That's true.
Martial is quite a finesse, you're right, yeah.
That's all he does, man. So
no, but this is the thing I'm saying though. Like, you're right with Martial, he does finesse, but with Rashford, even when he tries to finesse, he finesses it well, but there's also a bit of power in there as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not easy to save, and more time when he does that, he hits the back of the net. So that's what I'm hoping he can learn and erase all this knuckleball thing. I think after he scored that free kick against Chelsea, he just thought, yeah, you know what? I'm just going to kick the ball like this all the time. It don't work like that. That's how football works. But yeah, no, they can be improved. A lot of these guys, if I'm being honest, I don't have the patience for them anymore, because they're not improved in so long.
I hear that.
In so long. But no, you're right. Maybe I just need to take a bit of a breather with some of these guys.
I just don't like with the Rashford thing. Like, don't get me wrong. If he was to come in and say, "Look, I want him sold, and I'm going to replace him with Anthony," for example, or whatever it may be, then I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, look, keep Rashford, don't get Anthony." I'm not going to say that. But what I'm saying is, okay, Rashford's currently at 3 at the moment, if not 2 or 1, wherever it may be, out of 10 in it, week out. On a normal, when he's on form or he's doing okay, he's probably a 6 out of 10 or 7, give or take. He's definitely capable of getting to an 8. I feel like if Pep Guardiola was his coach, he would be an 8 out of 10, basically. I'm not saying he'd be elite. I'm not saying he'd be world class. But with his talent, if he used it and played to his strengths, I think he could be a fantastic asset. And he's shown that over the last 2 seasons. Yes, in bursts, yes, in moments, but he's shown that he's a clutch player. He's shown in big moments he's stepped up. I believe he's got the most goals off the bench from any Man United player in recent times. So I'm not saying that he's going to revolutionise, but I just feel like we can't sell everyone. And I do still think Rashford, if the right manager can come in and put his arm around him, he can potentially get a player out there. I'm not saying he's going to be well beat, but yeah, that's just me. I don't think we can sell everyone. I wouldn't mind keeping Rashford and giving him at least one more season to prove himself and then get rid of him, basically. Because he's still only 24. Like, we can still get rid of him at 25 and get money for it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Are you keep? I know what Jerry's answer is to this. I'm asking you. Are you keeping Anthony Martial?
You know I'm keeping Martial.
But what is it, a last chance saloon thing, or do you think like
the reason I'm keeping Martial, there's a couple of reasons for it, basically. The first reason being is I don't actually want us to waste our money on a striker. I don't think it's the most integral position for us to improve next season. Obviously, if Cristiano Ronaldo goes, obviously you could potentially make a case for it then. But I just feel like with Anthony Martial, we just have, he'll do a job. He'll do a good enough job for me personally. He's capable of doing the job. Obviously, I've got a lot of question marks over his mentality and his attitude, obviously. But I think he's more than capable of doing a job in a new attacking system that will probably play to his strengths, to be fair. Ten Hag likes to play one-touch football, linking up play, that kind of stuff. Martial does flourish under that kind of style when we have played it. I just feel like the money is best like spread out other places. DM for me, I'd rather go big on a DM. Like everyone's talking about Darwin Núñez. I know you're a big fan. But the price has been quoted for him is absolutely extortionate. Yeah, I dare not waste more than 40 million on a striker because I just don't think it's the biggest issue we've got. We've got a lot of issues, don't get me wrong. A striker is definitely an issue. But DM centre-back, right-back, left-back, them 4 positions, and a centre-mid, sorry. Them 5 positions, please, I beg, just spend the money there. If we've got money left over and it's enough to buy a striker and sell Martial and obviously add another 20 million and get a Darwin Núñez hypothetically, not that I want him, but just as an example, then okay, that's fine. But please don't make the same mistake we made last summer, getting the right winger before we got a DM. Just get the DM and centre back first, then the right back, left back, then we can go into striker if we've got money available. What do you guys reckon? Just for me, like,
we didn't even get a right winger, bro. He's a left winger.
Just anyone
for me, decent. I think the right winger, inverted winger. We need a left-footed right winger, man, just to balance the team. And obviously, Anthony's the big one. But for me, the defense. I know, was it a couple of days ago? I was trying to back Maguire, but I deeped it. Like, bro, we're gonna play a high line, counter press. I don't see how he fits into that, man. Like, and him being the captain is a big. That's another big decision. Like, but I think I said in someone else's podcast. I don't see Ten Hag coming and just saying, "Yep, captain off."
I do.
Where's the previous example of that happening?
I honestly, I genuinely believe he'll take the captaincy of him.
I think he needs to.
What's the reason?
I think he needs to.
Bro, the guy's ruthless, man. Like with Ten Hag, okay, he's not ruthless. Okay, I'm over exaggerating here, but I just feel like, with the way he is and the way he carries himself, and the fact that he had the cojones to say to the board, I ain't signing unless you do X, Y, and Z for me, if that is true, obviously. But if that is true, it shows that he's going to stick to his ways and he's not willing to just come in willy-nilly and just comply with everything the board want. And I feel like with Maguire, I think he'll actually do him a world of good. Like, even as a player, to take that bit of pressure off him, I think he'll benefit him a lot. Like, he might become a half-decent player that we can sell in a season for some okay money. Like, but yeah, for me, like, if he doesn't take the captaincy off him, then I'm going to be, that's a massive red flag for me. I know people will say, oh, it's easy, right? But you got to remember, didn't Ollie take the captaincy of De Gea?
No, but he wore it for like a game or two. It wasn't.
No. De Gea was the captain. You took it off him. Took it off him because he said something after a game.
It wasn't official though. Like, he was.
No. De Gea was the captain. He was.
Now listen, Young left, and then I think De Gea was the captain for the.
Yeah, De Gea was the vice captain.
Yeah,
so
he wasn't.
He took it off him and gave it to Maguire because De Gea made comments after a game that Ollie wasn't happy with, which is fair enough, obviously, entirely opinion.
The Maguire one was official, it was on the website and everything. The Hayes one wasn't.
Bro, just take it off Maguire, man. I think Maguire doesn't want it either, bro. Alphonso Davies' comments, bro, man, they're just violating the guy. Like, violation, bro. Like,
I think
yeah, I mean, who would you give it to though? Like, if you were to take it off him, just hypothetically, I'm curious.
Good question. That's a good question.
Exactly.
He wasn't the official captain, fan.
Yes, yeah.
In this squad right now, see the thing is, I would say De Gea, but how long has he got left at United or as a starter? Considering the football that we're thinking, Ten Hag's gonna want to play. If De Gea at this age is not learning how to pass the way he wants him to, is he gonna be even involved like that? I don't know. See, if this guy was in form, I would have said Rashford, but he's just not. He's not in form.
Rashford.
No, I said if he was not doing all this kind of stuff and he was a player.
Even if he was,
Rashford's not bad.
I think Rashford in form garnered the respect of the squad when he started his foolishness. He lost it. You don't think he had respect in the squad at all?
Bro. He's a little
You think Rashford had never had any respect in the squad at any time?
He had respect because he was feeding half the squad's players. That's completely fine.
But as captain, not
as captain, coach.
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not saying he's a leader. And you have to also understand the captain role has changed. It's not so much like Jordan Henderson anymore. You got the clubs that have so-called leaders that are not your companies, your Hendersons, your this, that, and the other. So when I say captain, I'm not talking about him as the main man leader. But when you're talking about what clubs represent long-term, this, that, and the other, at a time, he was probably the most likely to be the long-term Man United player. We're talking about him being future United goal scorer of all time, this, that, and the other. Why wouldn't he have been a candidate back then? That's my point. I'm saying if it was back then,
he was young then. He was young then, if anything.
Still, but that's a future situation. Back then, you would have considered him as a future captain. That's my point. Obviously, he hasn't gone forward like that. He hasn't gone forward like that. That's why you guys are saying no, and I'm like, I agree, it's no now. But back then, it would have been.
I hear what you're saying. If he kept
it would have been, but he's fumbled.
Yeah,
he's fumbled.
That's true.
I just think for me, Bruno's probably the most suited. Really, obviously, can't be like I would personally give it to. I would probably give it to Ronaldo. I'm not gonna lie, if he's still there.
Only leader there, really.
That's true.
And because like with Ronaldo, right? I just feel like it makes sense, like in every way of of him being there. But the only issue is, does that then mean he plays week in, week out? Like Bruno for me as well. Like it's just he's just crying too much to be the captain. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I don't mind it, but it's just like.
Do you think he will reduce that if he was the captain?
He just doesn't give me. He has got a lot of great qualities about him, but I just feel like. Some aspects of him, I just don't think it's great leadership. Like, imagine a young lad, like 18, 19, coming through the ranks. Let's say Elanga, for example. Your captain's rolling about on the floor and doing nonsense at Bruno every game. It's like, it's a bit much, isn't it? Like,
that's why I asked. Maybe the captaincy can make him stop doing that nonsense, man. Like, you're the captain of Man United.
I don't think it will, man. I genuinely think it's a part of who he is. Honestly.
I think
who's left? Who's left? This is my point. Who's left? We have someone that could have done it and he fumbled it.
We haven't got many leaders. I would probably give it Ronaldo. Like, I'm not going to lie. Because it's Ronaldo. Like, I mean, who's going to say anything to him? Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, fall in line. And I think it's important that the captain leads by example in the manner in which they train, carry themselves, etc. Okay, I suppose it's not the great time to say Ronaldo given what he's just done against on the weekend. But if he was to say, it'd be Ronaldo for me. Or De Gea, one of them two. I don't know. I don't know. But I was going to ask you guys, because it was a question that Raj asked earlier, which is a good friend of mine. He asked, what are your expectations from Ten Hag in the next 3 seasons, or in general, like, whoever wants to go first? What are your expectations?
Nah, bro, I said it before. I'm an impatient guy, man. I can't. All right, cool. Realistic expectations. The way we play football. That's for me. Because watching United for the past 10.
1 second, what's this, bro? Make a conference call. I'm literally just answering a comment now, like literally as we're speaking, and you've just put that in the chat, bro. This was his previous comment. Why haven't United gone for a proven manager like Conte, Zidane, etc.? I mean, give us a second. We're answering a comment right now, my guy. Don't stress, man.
bro.
We'll come to that. Chill. We'll come to yours next. We'll come to that next.
Subscribe. Maybe because you're not subscribed, bro. Subscribe, man.
That doesn't even come up. But anyways, Jerry, go on. Answer the other comment question.
So what question am I answering?
So what are your expectations from Ten Hag in the next season / 3 seasons, so to speak?
Yeah, for me, it's the football. Watching United, it's been so boring, man. Like, there's not a game where I've been excited, like, where we're cooking these man. But you know what? I want to get to a point where we go to a Liverpool or we go to a City and we're the dominant side. That's where we need to get to. I don't want to be they're the underdogs, the counter attack. I want us to go them. They're scared of how we play, not us adjusting to them. So for me, obviously the league and trophies and top 4 and whatnot. But the main thing for me, I want to be a dominant side that when teams, you've got Man United next on the fixture list, yeah, it's going to be a long day. So for me, within 3 seasons, I think we should be. Well, 3 seasons is a bit short, you know.
Nah, it's perfect time. It's perfect time. 3 summers. It's perfect.
But this season for me, I don't count it. This is a
yeah.
Oh, no, you mean the next season he's coming?
Next season coming, yeah. Okay, give me if I can change to 4 seasons, that's what I want. Because we're a long way away from Pepper Club. Very, brother, it's long. It's long. So for me, yeah, just to be a dominating side in the Premier League again.
Claudia, what do you reckon? Same question.
3 years is my thing. I've always said that from early, considering where the club is and the facilities they have. United are still huge. They've got the money, they've got facilities. And if it's true that he has total control, then I would say first season top 4. That can be 4th. That's fine by me. I'm not expecting a title challenge. Second season top 4 again. Make sure you solidify that. 3rd season title challenge. I think that's fair. That's 3 years to overhaul the squad. That's 3 years to bring in your own players, implement your style. I think there's more than enough time. 3 summers plus 3 January transfer windows as well. If we do anything in those, I think that's enough time for him to maybe change the tide a little bit. If he manages to win stuff in those 3 years, fantastic. But I'm not expecting much.
Well, that would have been 8 years without a trophy, bro. That's crazy.
Is it 8 years?
It will be after that 3 years if he doesn't win anything.
Oh yeah. I was thinking about league title. You're right. It is 8 years.
Yeah. So that's why I want to be in Europa League. We've actually got a chance of winning that. I'm not gonna lie. But we'll get to that for another show. But yeah, just to answer your question, Raj. Just to answer your question. First season, which is the next season, I just think it's a complete write-off to this. Top 4, I do want. Obviously,
I lied. First season can't be a write-off.
Yeah, I've just caught myself. When I say write-off, I don't expect anything, but I do still think he needs to get top 4 because I expect us. I don't know if that contradicts what I'm trying to say, but what I'm saying is I've not got expectation of any football. Let me make this clear. I've not got any expectation of us playing any brand of football or being absolutely sensational. I'm expecting to be very inconsistent in terms of performances, results, etc., that kind of thing. But I still think with the money Man United spend and where he's starting from, i.e. the crop of players he has got, he should still have enough to get top 4. Second season, starting to be more competitive. Obviously, philosophy has to be way more instilled in second season. There are 2 summers to buy players, so potentially could be 8 players that are his players that would go into the first team arguably. Well, I want players not for the squad. I'm not here for any squad rebuild. I want the first 11 needs to be built first. We haven't got an 11 that is going to represent the Ten Hag style of football. That first 11 needs to be Ten Hag. The bench, eventually, we need to start working on players that come in and obviously complement the first 11, if that makes sense. But yeah, for me, the second season, he's had hopefully 8 players that come into start 11. And obviously, the bench is still players from previous predecessors. He should be competing to an extent. Top 4 again, as Coach just said, but competing in terms of obviously a philosophy should be better. Obviously, brand of football obviously is the same thing. But in terms of competing, I need him to actually show us where we're going. With Klopp, in his second season, yeah, he's still faltering. There's still mistakes, a lot of mistakes. but you can see the direction he was taking the club. And I want to be able to see the direction, and I actually want to be able to see progress, basically, in the sense that I can see where this is going. And then third season, as Coach just said, rightfully said, at that point, you've had 3 summers at Man United who've got money to burn. He should be competing for the title. And again, that just means similar to what Chelsea done this season, competing on like all fronts, that kind of thing. But yeah, it just depends on the board, really, man. If they're backing properly and they actually buy the players that he wants, and he's said yeah, A-OK to them, then I expect a lot from him, basically, in terms of the next 18 months. But if they do what they did under Jose Mourinho, I just want to ask you guys a question, because I've got a current debate going on in one of my WhatsApp groups before I started the show, and it's basically the people in the WhatsApp group, none of them are Man United fans, basically. So basically what I said to them was, they were like, why are you so happy? I was like, I'm happy because we've got a proper manager, but I'm not extremely happy because I don't trust the board to actually go through with what they promised him. And I used the example of Jose Mourinho, where he wasn't backed fully. They were saying Jose got 10 signings. For me personally, 10 signings is not enough to change the fortunes of Manchester United. That's just me. But do you think Jose Mourinho was back fully, and do you think the board have let previous managers down, like Oli, Van Gaal, Jose, etc.? Like, what are your guys' thoughts on that? Because they were like fully, let's say, I'm an idiot, basically.
First season, I'll say I was happy with that window. Obviously, it was Zlatan, Pogba, Mkhitaryan, and Bailly, I think it was. I said,
yeah.
That looks like a Jose summer. And obviously, we went on to win 2 trophies that year, and then obviously get Champions League football. The second season, however, shambles. Actually, no, we got Lukaku. What else did we get? Lukaku, Lindelof.
I don't even remember who he signed. I'm not gonna lie.
There was one more.
Darmian. I feel like we signed Darmian under Jose. Was that under Van Gaal?
That was Van Gaal. I know we signed 3 players: Lukaku, Lindelof, and Matic. That's it.
Oh, okay.
I thought decent. Yeah, I think the first 2 years, okay, he did get back. Obviously, came second that season, FA Cup final loss.
It's that third season for me. When he came second, I think they threw him under the bus, basically. I think that's what basically my thing was. They did back him in the first 2 seasons, as you rightly stated. The third season for me, they didn't back him. Like they didn't get him a centre back as he wanted Alderweireld. For me personally, they just it was quite as well. To be fair, they're just half-assed the job. Claudio, what do you reckon? He said Pogba. Yeah, obviously that's the player they're missing.
Yeah, I think they shortchanged him. Pogba wasn't even signing. He came out and said that they came up to him and said, "Well, we've got this deal done, so all you got to do is sign up on it, and then that's it, really."
Yeah, he's not going to say no to Pogba doing it, so we'll give it.
Oh yeah, exactly. But no, I think that third transfer window that I speak about, I think that was a disaster from the club, because he finished second and he was looking for centre backs. You gave him Fred, you gave him Dallo at right back, and was it Lee Grant, the goalkeeper? That was the final signing. That's not good enough. I'm sorry, that's not an improvement on what we had. And for someone that finished second, we finished 19 points behind the Centurions. So you need to try and close that gap. And if you still need to bring in centre backs, because that season before was the De Gea show, you need to provide the centre backs. Obviously, I think Jerry mentioned he wanted Harry Maguire. At that time, he would have been £5 million. We paid 75 million plus for him.
Outrageous.
It's ridiculous. And that means, to be honest, if Maguire had come for 5 million, he probably would have been a squad player. There would be no pressure on him. He wouldn't have been captain. You might have actually seen another player. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's if that's the one thing.
Remember, he wanted, what's his name? Perisic, and then they were like,
wanted Perisic and Alderweireld.
He wanted Perisic, Alderweireld, and Maguire. So 2 centre backs, 1 to start, 1 probably to be a squad player. 5 million is cheap, and then Perisic should go on that left side, and wherever it was after that. That's the one thing that worries me, because they had a proven winner. Yes, he had a fall off at Chelsea. They won the league, then had that disaster season. Yeah, he had that disaster season. But regardless, his record was beautiful as a manager, and he knew how to win trophies. And he got you 2 trophies. They might not be the main ones, but he got trophies finally. And then when he's telling you what I need or what he needs rather to, get United to push for the title, you refuse to give him what he needs, and you spend 53 million on a centre midfielder that's not improved. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Ten Hag can come in, and if they have promised him everything, that's beautiful. But I don't want to be here.
That's my concern, bro.
I know I said I've been burnt to, but the only thing I'm thinking is a bit different is Ed Woodward has left this club. For me, obviously the Glazers are the biggest villains, but he was a big fat villain. He ruined our club. I'm not gonna lie, he ruined it. He ruined everything, bro. Football decisions, hiring of managers, sacking of managers, not the right time. What do you say about Schweinsteiger? Bro, this guy, he finished the club, man. So for me,
he definitely sent us 5 years back. But listen, we're gonna wrap it there because I've just realised the time. I was actually gonna do it. The show at 6, but it's 7, isn't it? So obviously it's 8 now, basically. Just want to say a massive thank you to obviously Kojo and Jerry, as always, for coming through lastminute.com. Obviously, hopefully we've covered and given a genuine perspective. Obviously, it seems like we're all on the same page. We're just waiting to see what the board do. False promises. They've done that time and time again, as a Jose example. Just before we go, I just want to get everyone's predictions on Champions League. Chelsea, I don't know who else is playing, but obviously I know Chelsea and Madrid. So we'll just go through. Get your predictions in the chat. Rajis was saying, come on, Benzema. Kojo, what do you reckon? What's your score prediction? What do you reckon?
I think Real Madrid win it 2-1. And the other game is Bayern Munich and Villarreal. I think Bayern Munich will smash them 4-0.
Oh, Bayern Munich better win. I swear to God, if Liverpool get Villarreal, I'm going to...
Yeah, I'm gonna go mad. That can't happen.
Fuming. Then I'm supporting bloody Una. Good evening for the rest of the bloody thing, man. He ain't gonna get slapped. Jerry, what do you? Oh, so you're saying Bayern and obviously Madrid to go through. Jerry, what are you saying?
I see Chelsea. I think Chelsea win the game. It goes extra time. Penalties, Chelsea, man. Yeah, I think the response from the last game, obviously they lost to Brentford and obviously lost to Bayern to respond 6-0. I think, 2 because it's good. I think Chelsea are going to step up a lot today. Because Real Madrid, I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I think Chelsea can blitz them. They can, because Chelsea had chances that game, that the first leg, and obviously Lukaku missed that header. I think Mount missed a chance. I think they can do it, man. It's going to be tight, but I'll go for Chelsea on penalties, bro. And Bayern.
Okay, so you got. Okay, fair enough. I know. At least you're not sat on the fence there. I rate it. What are you saying with not? That's not a dig, but because I used to say it the fast as a joke. But what are you saying? Bayern Villarreal, who's going through?
Yeah. Actually, you know what? Unai Emery, he knows how to coach a good team, man. Obviously, people think Bayern are going to slap them, but I think Bayern do go through, but just narrowly.
Are Bayern at home for this game?
Yeah.
Yep. And this man here is going to be
Bayern 3-1 Bayern.
Okay, I know what, Jerry. I think that 3-1 shout is very realistic. We got 3-0 shout here, and we got 2-1 Madrid. Also, Biz is just coming to confirm that Lukaku, Matic, Lindelof. Cheers, Biz, absolute goal. This one said Bayern win. I think everyone's predicting Bayern. I've got a feeling Villarreal are going to beat him. I don't know why. I just feel like, obviously you guys know I'm a massive fan of Nagelsmann, but I think he's become extremely complacent, especially with defense. Like Bayern is just like, they've got mistakes in them defensively. They have for a while, to be fair. But especially under Nagelsmann, which is one of my criticisms with him at RB Leipzig, openly, defensively too open. And obviously Dan Juma scored in the first game, which is good for his confidence, obviously. Great celebration, the Cobra, and I love it. I think Villarreal beat him. And I'm going to say 2-2 on the night. So they win 3-2 on aggregate. And then Real Madrid v Chelsea. I think it does go to extra time, but I think I was going to say Modric, but I'm going to say Vinicius. I think Vinicius wins it for Madrid. But again, a tight game. They win by 1 goal on aggregate, so 4-3 on aggregate. But anyways, listen, thank you as always for tuning in. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow. I will put the guys' links to their channels in the description. I haven't done that because obviously it was very last minute. But we'll do that, so please click on the link, subscribe to their channels as well. I'm sure they're both going to have content regarding the big news. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Obviously slap a like and subscribe to the channel. It's been your boy Osman. Peace out, people.